Hey everyone, a different kind of video today. So recently Riot has actually leaked what their plans are for the new preseason, which will be the Season 13 preseason. And after a few hours of the post being up, they actually deleted it. So I managed to find screenshots on Twitter to look through the changes and what they were saying and go over everything that was discussed. So this was a thread on Twitter that got leaked, and if you click on the link to the site where you would see the link for the article, you'll notice that no article actually appears, right? And the reason why is because they released it way too early and they weren't supposed to, so they actually deleted it. But the good news is in the comment section, people actually wrote what the changes or screenshot what the changes actually are. So we're gonna look at them right now. So without further ado, let's read. Hey junglers, it's been a while since we last updated the jungle in a meaningful way, and honestly our plan lane and home between the lanes is in need of a bit of love. Speaking from one jungle main to another, the role hasn't kept up with the times and is in need of a touch-up. I know, Riot reworks jungle is a scary headline to read. I've been jungling since Season 2, so I feel you. Jungle's a powerful role, but also the punching bag of the team. We're supposed to gank every lane, control all the macro, perfectly farm our camps, and set up all vision all at once. It's a lot, and that's awesome, that's why we made this role, but it's way too much to jump into without a pool noodle. We don't want the majority of players to actively avoid playing any role, and the truth is that we failed at that metric when it comes to jungling. In the recent LoL Pliss, Riot Frogs On talked a bit about our plans for preseason, with communication and jungle vision systems, jungle changes, and the Chemtech track being our major areas of focus. Because we filmed the video a while ago, I'm here to share some extra details for those of you wanting more. Many League players see the wildly complex strategies and game knowledge required to be even slightly competent at the jungle and are scared away. We want to lessen this barrier of entry. One of the ways we'll do that is by easing players in, showing them how to play the role, and adjusting mechanics so they're less punishing and more intuitive. The goal here is absolutely not to dumb down the jungle or remove the ability to show off your knowledge, but to make sure that the jungle is complex in the right places. We're currently exploring some changes like jungle pathing aids. Think something similar to recommended items, but instead it's how you do your first clear, a stepping stone towards the mastery of the role. Okay, so I guess what they're pretty much like talking about here is that they're gonna make things so it's like, let's say you're doing the blue buff, then they'll say you should do Gromp next, then you should do Wolves or this or that. Which I mean I guess is interesting, but the thing that I don't really like about that is it's almost like it's coaching you on how to play. I mean, it definitely makes things a bit interesting and weird, but we'll just have to see, I guess, what they do with it. We're also looking into adjusting the way camps leash, including the ranges and reset rules. When you're newer to the role and accidentally lose camp patience, it feels like you're getting slapped in the face. Even for experienced players, the rules are finicky and sometimes your champion feels useless because they can't abuse these rules as well as other champs. The jungle itself shouldn't be the deciding factor as to whether a champion is viable. So I guess when it comes to this, essentially what they're saying is they want to like make it so that camps won't actively reset, but the ranges are going to be reduced, which I think is going to make it so that anybody who tries like double camp clearing, so like let's say doing blue gromp at the same time, I don't think that's going to be possible anymore, but I could be wrong. But if that's what they're doing, all they're really doing is like removing skill expression from the role, because sure it's a skill expressive thing to like double cam clear, right? And sure you could say it's kind of broken, but there are people who literally takes them thousands of games like master jungle pathing and all these things to actually get good at that, right? So it's a bit of a slap in the face to everybody who's already like dedicated themselves like learning these as they are. So right now in League, it's not realistic to expect a ton of different characters to be viable at the highest levels of play because a lot of them simply can't optimize their clears enough to stand up with the rest. Will Rammus ever be powerful in high skill brackets with a clear as so fragile as his is right now? So see, the problem with this is that while Rammus doesn't clear, he's meant to gank a lot. So junglers who are power farmers like Shyvana, they can't really gank that well, but as a result they have really good clears, right? So I really don't like where they're taking this direction because not every champion should be good at doing the same things, so I don't like that. If jungle clear optimization is no longer a major barrier to entry for jungle viability, way more champions can be played there. The meta is less set in stone, the jungle itself isn't telling you that you're bad at the game just because you picked Warwick. Skills should be rewarded across a roster of champs, only a select few that can effectively clear their current jungle. Some amount of the skill expression around clearing your jungle will be lost with these changes, but that means we can move some of the jungle's complexity and skill away from clear optimization and towards other places. See, my issue with this is that it looks like they're making it so that jungle is less micro and more macro. It's almost like making it so that you can't farm as well top lane, because some players can't farm, right? Some champions aren't as good as farming as others, right? Like, let's say Vel'Koz isn't as good of a farmer as like Aurelia is, so then it's almost like they nerf Aurelia's clear or like thing as a result, but then they give them TP buffs. I don't know, it's weird. Riot Foxon also talked about some of our plans for the communication system changes, and we're really thinking about the ways they can be used by junglers as a method of skill expression. Jungling is relying on proactive communication, so making sure the Raw has more tools to do that. It's also the role most focused on macro strategy, but getting your team on board with your calls can feel impossible. We're exploring giving junglers more tools to get their team to take objectives or broadcast their ganks to their laners, among other ideas. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be trying to make the ping system better, which I think is good. That seems like a good change. The last major change to the jungle this preseason will be the jungle items. The current items are functional, but they aren't that excited or understandable. The reason most of us are drawn to jungle is because it's different from laning. We don't want to sit in a lane and farm with Doran's items. The goal of the jungle item change is to get them to express a difference between culling cool champs and farming boring minions. Some of you might remember the days of Spirit of the Elder Lizard or Wriggle's Lantern, back when jungle items felt more meaningful and impactful. Let's be honest though, those were problematic in their own ways. We want to capture some of that fantasy with a bit of twist this time: pets. These pets will help you do little things in the jungle like clearing or taking down epic monsters. As you jungle, you slowly raise and feed your pet until they've grown up enough to empower you. We haven't unlocked the final design of these yet, and in order to save you from having to understand what I'm trying to convey with text, here are some pics. Just keep in mind, these will not be going live, and the final design will very likely look different from this. Okay. So it looks like what they want to do is they want to make it so you can, I guess, buy pets that will make it so, let's say you have more attack damage or more attack speed or more tenacity, which I think is like a good change. So overall, I'd say that the changes to the jungle look kind of decent. I don't like the fact that they're making it a bit less mechanical with the changes to the leashes and whatnot, but we'll just have to see what they end up doing with that. But in terms of changing with like the pets, I think that's a really cool idea. And I also think like added pings is a really good idea. So I mean, hopefully everything stays as is, but as of now, this looks like a really good direction. Hope to see you guys for the next video. Peace.